So today I want to show you how to do a French seam. French seams are perfect when you have to deal with fraying fabric. That's a real tongue twister. Fraying fabric like this. Usually people would just use an overlocker to conceal the fraying fabric and stop it from fraying while you're wearing it. However, if you're like me, you don't really have one, or they're too expensive, or you don't really stitch all that much, this is a perfect way to get around it. This is a bit of scrap fabric that I had left over from a Boa Hancock costume that I made. So don't do this, but I'm just going to mark the front with a little bit of blue pen, just for your purpose, so we can follow through with and understand what is the front of the fabric and what is going to be the back of the fabric. See, with a French seam, it's quite the opposite to doing a normal seam. A normal seam, you would conceal the front of the fabric, you would do a running stitch along here, and then you would turn it inside out and you'd have a lovely nice edge. However, when you've got fraying fabric, you can't really do that. So with a French seam, you do the opposite, where you do the seam on the outside of the garment. And now you just run that through the sewing machine. You don't want to do the seam too close to the edge or too far in the middle. Especially with French seams, you do actually have to give a little bit more seam allowance than you would normally. And then just trim off the excess little bits that are sticking out, because you don't need them. Then you turn it inside out. So this is still the back of the fabric that we wouldn't be seeing on the garment. Make sure though that you stitch just below the inside of the seam, just so you don't catch the seam in here. See, my seam ends about here, so I'm just going to stitch just a little bit lower than that. Then once you've done the second seam, we'll turn the garment back to front again. So this is the front of our fabric, as you can see with the little X there to mark the spot. And that is a French seam. So yeah, basically a French seam is all about concealing the frayed side of the fabric within itself, so it will never ever fray on you, which is great. So I hope that helped.
Bye, have a beautiful time.